Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. So I take advantage that I was already filming something today and I will show you my new stream pack. So this is a Fanny pack by Kingdom. I already unboxed it on a big bag of small things, even though this is not small, but I want to show you how I set it up when I know that I'm going somewhere and I don't have one, a lot of time, and two, I'll be probably catching a quantity of fish. Bigger or small, it doesn't matter. If you have to unhook a lot of fish, swap a lot of lures, put some new line in, it's very ergonomic because everything is on your front, your essentials are on your side, and you have everything at the hand reach, which is actually quite good. I will show you the inside. I have in here everything that I need to catch, in my case chub, but it's applicable I think for perch, trout, panfish, and even maybe some smallmouth if you have it. But for the unboxing and showing everything that I have inside, I will just go to the table and unpack everything. See you guys in a bit. And now that we're on the table, you can take a closer look to my fanny pack, and I will start with a rag. So I have a rag on my left side, and as you can see, it's on a stretchy lanyard and it's just folded. So it's still dirty, don't look at it. And if I just fold it, and it will not fall while I'm fishing, it's just there, and if I need it somewhere else, the lanyard will stretch a little bit, like 1 meter or 1 yard. And when I don't need it, I just do this and it's taken away. On the other side, you see this a lot. It's another lanyard with a foldable ruler, sorry. And I've seen this. I've seen in Portugal guys using this, usually woodworkers, cabinet makers, but German guys love this. They will use it for everything, even on metallic structures. They will use like a bigger version. I've seen 2-meter versions of this foldable ruler. I don't really have a need for a 2-meter version, but either way. And in here you have a pouch for your multi plier. So this is a plier that has a lot of functions, but none of them it's perfect, but it's enough to cut line. And to take the hooks out of fish, I have some forceps. I have it on this bag, but usually I don't use it directly from that pouch. I just put it on my back pocket. And as you see on all my videos, if I'm fishing just on the stream or on the river, I will just use the left glove, so I don't get spiked while I'm handling fish, and for chub to not be flopping on the ground because they are so slimy, and if I didn't have the glove, they will just fall. If I'm on salt water, I'll probably be using the 2 gloves. And now the contents of the bag. So a lot of soft plastic bags because these ones are from TPR and you should not mix them. And this is my leader line. Unfortunately, all my leader is almost gone, the small one, and I had to put this huge leader spool on my backpack. Right now I think the Zukibo already arrived, and I'm using Zukibo fluoro carbon coated copolymer that has a lot smaller spool and goes better on the backpack. And in here I have all my terminal tackle on this small waterproof box, a lot of chub weights, bullet weights, hooks, and jig heads. I think a small spoon is there, and pre-rigged stuff. So this is a size 10 hook from Supercontinente. It's what you usually see me using. These hooks are very thin, which is a good and a bad thing. So if you catch a big fish or a snag, they will self-destroy. but you'll be able to hook a lot of things with it because they are so thin, they will penetrate very well. Some collection of hard baits that I'm barely using because conditions are just trash for hard baits. I also have inline spinners, spoons, very weird spoons from Istolur, cranks, and an assortment of hard body and a float bag. So I have this float, but I also barely use it. It's very small and it's just enough to levitate like soft plastic on a hook, nothing else. But this is what you see me throwing on my latest videos. It's a pig tanta. It's made from a very durable material. The only bad thing is that you cannot really mix them or mix them with other plastics, so you have the easier way just to carry the bag with you. And I also have a bag of Crazy Cross from Supercontinente. So as you can see, I will just show you some of the riggings that I do. And I just grab soft plastic from the bag and I threw the bag away because that guy was just there lonely. And this is one of the things that you can do. Just put the bullet weight on your line and then grab a hook and just make this simple rigging. So it's like a micro Texas. It should work very well for sunfish. And this is what I really use in here because I need my weight near my plastic, and it's a tungsten shell weight. I think this one is 2 grams because chub right now on the winter they like to feed near the bottom. So you just pass the clip and then you pass the clip through the tungsten bead. Usually they will have, on the bigger sizes, it will not go straight to the middle. You should put the clip in a way that most of the weight stays under the clip, so the opening for the clip, it's not on the middle. It will not go through the middle of the metal bead, it will go just upwards of the bead. And then you pass the top of your soft plastic, and this is actually quite hard to rig because it's small and TPR, it's very, how do you call it, slippery on the hook. But as you can see, it's very concealed, the pointy part of the hook, it just stays there on the soft plastic, neatly packed, and it's a very stealthy presentation. It actually looks like a small shrimp or something like that. So this will work for everything. I think last year I really didn't try it for bass, but basically I caught almost everything on tantas. And you just put that small clip to put everything together. You can put a knot, but the clip will just work as fine, and it's a lot easier to swap presentations. The clips that I'm having here are the smallest that I've found. I think they are 7 millimeters or 7.5 millimeters in length. If they were smaller, it would be nicer, but also I will not be able to use them. As you can see, it's already a hard time for me to use these small clips, but basically you just then put the clip through the shell weight, and this will secure the shell weight. The shell weight is only secure and you have a hard time rigging near the water if you don't do this as soon as you pass the clip through the shell weight, because they are so small that while you are rigging the soft plastic, it will just fall apart and you will lose your tungsten bead, and they are not that cheap yet. And the other presentation that I will do is just grab The Crazy Crow do exactly the same and just put it on this size 10 shell weight. If I'm fishing for chub or sunfish, so if I'm fishing for bass, I will use the BU or the Lureholic, a smaller size EWG, which have a stouter hook and a slightly bigger hook. And the Crazy Crow, you may want to cut it for an easier hook set. So the hook is closer to the pincers, which is usually what they will try to attack first. And now we just put everything back together so you can see how neatly this fanny pack packs. And as you can see, it's actually quite nice. You can even reduce more. Like if I was wading, when I know that I will be only using soft plastics, I didn't even need the box of hard baits. And now the Q&A. So I will just pull up OBS. We go to the Q&A part of this video. And we start with the first question that comes from Alex Maxim K, which is a member of the channel. And the question is, has every rod you keep its own reel? Do you dedicate a reel to a rod or vice versa? Yes. When I buy something, I have a rod or a reel that I have in mind, other than if it's like some new thing, like when I order the Micro Monster Pro or right now the Zana or that type of stuff that's on the spur of the moment. I just want to make a video while the item is still very hot and fresh in the market on the AliExpress. But usually I will buy, like, I have the Outrange with a Mi Find Iron Carbon. I have the Beautiful with the Miak, which is surprisingly a quite nice combo. Like I had the Fiamma with the Tatula, that sort of combos that I usually have. I have my Pure Lure Zero that you didn't see yet on the channel because I got it like on the beginning of the winter, where I cannot really use that long of a rod for the type of fishing that I can do on that time of the year, with the Pure Lure Silver Feather Elite. And that's about it. Of course, that you will see some weird combos because I have to test like a spinning reel, and I have to test a casting reel, and the colors will be weird, or the cast weights, but that's just because like I'm more comfortable changing less variables. So if I'm using a new reel, I will try to get a rod that I'm used to, like the Creek Dance, the Beautiful Fishing Gear XUL, something that I've been fishing a lot. Or in the case like the Samurai Phantom, I've put it with a telescopic rod from Purely because it's a rod that works, it's inexpensive, and it matches the price point of the reel. So yeah, I have something in mind, but because of the nature of the channel, sometimes they will not be matched as I wanted. So if the channel was just about me getting the fishing gear that I want to make fishing videos, just pure fishing, the combos would look a bit nicer, not on the expense part of the things, but on like color matching, braid matching, it would be nicer. I'm that type of guy. Another question from Alex Maxim K. Do you know for sure you caught the same fish twice or more times by recognizing a distinctive visual feature of the individual fish? Carp anglers do it and give the individual fish names and track the growth, etc. I heard stories and have seen photos and data of this. My stretch of the river has been wrecked since last year. So we have like in this stretch of I don't know if it's even 2 kilometers in between levees. That fish cannot really travel that much unless it's like very very heavy rain that will increase the flow and the height of the river. There's no way the fish can move around that much. And you have the two tributaries that you see me fishing, so the one on the bridge and the one on the park, and they are just getting wrecked by like 5 cormorants. 3 of them have been living here 365 days of the year. And you have the mink, so I don't really know how will be the future. I know that I've caught chub twice. It has some bite marks on the side. That I know that I caught twice. I think the one that I got in camera, it was on the Resolute video, the casting version, and I think I caught that fish twice. Other than that, ADHD don't give me that opportunity to be able to track that down. I know we are good at recognizing patterns, but not this type of patterns. So continuing on with questions from Alex Maxim K. What do you think is the best type of to construct a rod tip? Hollow, solid, or even titanium? What are the pros and cons when you only can have one rod? Which type do you choose? Do you think titanium rod tips are the future, leaving building costs out for all tips of rods, or which type of rod? So basically, there's a rule of thumb that I would use. Hollow tip for single fixed hook baits like jigs, G-heads, bottom contact, where you need to set the hook very hard. So I would say hollow tipped rods are more for largemouth bass, shander. Then they start to be a little bit frail for I'm missing the word, Lucio. In English it's pike, yes, big pike. So hollow, it's a faster, stouter rod, usually for single hooks that with presentations that are working on the bottom. Solid are best for trebles, for moving baits, because the rod it's always low, and it will suit extra ultralight a lot better. This video will come on the weekend after the week that I put the Yobushi or Seaman spinning reel, and with that I was using the Outrange, which is a very good rod. For you saw me fishing twatchat with it, with a spoon. No problems with that. Very hardy mouth fish, difficult to hook. You need a stout rod. Even being so lightweight or so light on the cast weight, it was able to hook them perfectly enough. I think my friend on that day was using my Mavlos plume and had a harder time hooking the fish properly. But either way, I was having a hard time, so I don't remember quite how I edited the video, but there were like 5 or 6 missed hook sets, and usually I don't miss that much hook sets on the session. So you have to keep in mind that all the rods will have pros and cons. So if you are sticking with silverfish like chub, even some small perch, solid will be better. If you are going after hardened mouth predators, hollow will be a little bit better for single hooks, and the titanium has a bit of both worlds, at least with the experience that I have so far with pure lure titanium. It has a very fast recover, but it will load very well. So basically, if I think the titanium will be the future of rods. The titanium tips have been around for a long time on deep jigging, cuttlefish rods. I think rods, very short rods that people call raft rods. I have no experience with them, but they have been having titanium tips for a long time, and I think that you can even buy titanium tips for like that sort of weird rods that people use while ice fishing. So titanium tips have been around for a while. I will not call them a gimmick. I think American fellows will not like them, so we may see the rods going away. I quite like them. I have the Pure Lure Titanium T, and I also have the telescoping from Fishing Fans, and from what I've been using it, I didn't catch anything with it, but the cast that I made, I think it's a fine rod. I want to see how it will deal with fish, but I'm actually satisfied with it. I thought it would be a lot worse than it is. So you will see me using every type of rod because I will need specific rods for different things, and I will use all of them. So that's, I think, the best explanation I can give you. Another question from Alex: do you have a dream destination for a fishing trip? So I think I mentioned on the channel before, I only fish like with a couple, I can count on my hand, of exceptions a year. I only fish on working days, so I will fish in the morning. Even on weekends, I work a great amount of weekends during the year, and I will usually fish with my friend on Saturdays in the morning, even if I have to wake up, I don't know, 4 o'clock in the morning, pick him up, go fishing, and then come back, have lunch with my wife and my kid, and then proceed to go to work on the afternoon. I will do that. The exceptions that I open is to fish from my SUP, which takes some time to assemble, fishing some local tournaments, and going on very specific bodies of water. So the dream destination to me is one that I can take my kid for him to learn how to fish, and where the wife doesn't get bothered. Hopefully that would be a fishing trip to catch perch on like Eastern Center Portugal, something like that. Another question: please do a ranking video on your favorite lures, soft and hard bait. I think this one I will skip because I have so many variables already, doing a lot of reviews, that I'm now sticking a lot to the same bait. So you will see me throwing a lot of tantas, a lot of cross, mostly chabs and EWGs. For me, they are the essentials because I have rods and reels and lines variables already. I don't want to mess with the lures. I will probably do how-to basics, and I will extend that on the another questions that you have follow-up, because this is the third time I'm recording this. The first 2 times I had audio issues. Any plans to make more fishing trip content without reviewing? Yes, I will try to have 52 reviews by the end of the year, so 1 item per week, and then you know that I will upload also the sales videos on AliExpress with the savings. If any brand contacts me saying this item will be released, I can send to you for you to have in time of the release, or like 1 or 2 weeks on the release date. I will push that item on my agenda, so like I did with the Pure Lure Titanium T, the Micro Monster, and the Pure Lure Zana. I just posted anyway, even that if overlap with my normal schedule. So after I have like 2 videos for every week, and I have some still canned. I need to fish more because I had like 2 straight days of skunking going after trout. So after that, I will try to do a lot more fishing, and then bass fishing will open. We'll have twacha, we'll have probably some sea bass coming. I'm saying coming. I don't have anything filmed. It's just the weather is coming in for that. So I'm also trying to go to some places where they have stocked trout, just to catch something on video. I'll be honest. So there, if I have the time, other than that 52 items that I have planned to have a item review with an unboxing, of course, every week of the year, there will be fishing trip content if that opportunity arrives. Again, my channel, it's 40 something % of the views are coming from people typing in the item and checking my video for the review. It's not yet a community, let's say it that way. So next question, technical question on spinning reels. What is your opinion about felt drag washers versus carbon drag washers in drag systems? What is your experience? Pros and cons. How much braking force do you think you need for your type of fishing? How do you set your brakes, loose or very stiff, to the capacity of your line, or in between? So felt and drag washer and felt and carbon drag washers both work. Both need to be lubed. The difference with the felt is when everything goes kaput and it's not properly maintained, you will get this. So you will not have a progressive drag. With the carbon drag washers, you will have this when they are just getting very, very dry. It will feel like a sandy feel, like a gritty feel on the drag, but it will still be a lot more progressive than the felt washers. But when they are properly maintained, they will work, I would say, almost the same. Again, carbon is a little bit better, and it will last a little bit longer, even if heel maintained. How much braking force do I need? Actually, if you are fishing like me until the size 1000 reel, I think even 4 kilos is too much. I think, like, for me the proper amount should be 500 size. I would say 1.5 to 2 kilos, so maybe 2 pounds. 3 kilos on the 8 or 700 size reels, and 3 kilos, even 4 feels a little bit too much. Like maximum 4 if you are talking about 1500 size reel. Something about that order. Everything that's after 5 is just too much. It's like when you lock it, whatever type of fishing you're doing on fresh water, like for even big bass, it doesn't feel it feels like it's locked in. It's like a solid thing. You don't feel that there's any drag. And again, I never fish with more than like 3 or 4 kilos on my leader line. So that's that. How do I set my brakes? That's something that I will explore probably on how to basics, but basically I will push the line on my rod until the rod stops to give, and when the rod stops to give, then I will open my drag. So I usually fish with even though I'm complaining about the drags being very high, I usually fish with a very, very high drag. Since I fish so narrow of streams, and chub and barbel, especially barbel, have a tendency to run under snags and break your line, you cannot really give a lot of line. So I prefer to use softer rods and use the rods as a dumping to absorb the force of the fish than the drag itself. So I just open the drag sometimes on the video so you can hear the drag build. Other than that, I'm a very, very tight drag guy. That's why you don't see me lose a lot of fish, also on my opinion. At least in here, I usually don't lose a lot of fish. Any funny or weird stories or interactions of with passing by people while you fish, or any funny, weird, or creepy fishing stories in general? From Alex Maxim K. So one story, it was on a place that I sometimes fish with my dad. On Christmas Day, we went for a walk, and as a fisherman, even if you're not fishing but you're passing a body of water, you're always studying. So Christmas Day, we went for a walk. Like, we went on the car and went at some part that is near the river. I think one of the biggest rivers that we have in Portugal, Tejo. And there was a dead guy floating, already bloated. And I was like, I don't know, maybe 7 or 8 when that happened. So it's still engraved on my mind. The guy just floating belly down on the, like, it was like very, very close to the boat ramp. Other than that, we fish like irrigation canals a lot down there. We had like on the banks of the Tejo, you have like a lot of fertile land, and you have irrigation channels there, and we fish there for carp and barbel and heel sometimes. And we sometimes, I think more than once, found probably that people where they went there because all the roads are the dirt roads, and people went there to do rally, and they will just flip, and the car would flip on the irrigation canal, and the people just drowned inside of the car. So very, very creepy. And just people in here are just nice. They will say good day to you. Sometime like 1 or 2 times the old farts will say, that's good to eat, can I keep it? I just brush them off. Usually it's the runners that mock you. So the old guys running, they will say, you have a fairy one, because the rod is very thin and very small, and all the old guys in here just have one rod, and it's like a 4-meter telescopic rod that they will use everywhere. So that's that. Again, another question. These questions are all from Alex Maxim K. I think you can see it on the screen. Do you think fishing as an hobby makes a man more attractive dating wise if the dating partner is not vegetarian or vegan, or other reasons, or is it a red flag? So first things, vegetarian and vegan is not the same thing. Vegan is more of a statement, and vegetarian can be because you really don't like to just hurt animals, but you are okay with like having cooperations, like eating honey, collecting eggs, collecting milk, making cheese, that type of stuff. I know that we cause stress to fish, but we are also, at least in my case, that I usually never bring fish home to eat. We are stewards of the river. So if there's in here Ricardo like me, and 2 kilometers up there's another one, and 2 kilometers up there's another one, and if we have people that are like 3-4 times a week on the water, you will have a lot more complaints about pollution. About, like, I had right now make a complaint because why the hell do we have like 5 cormorants on the park? It's not normal. It shouldn't be allowed to happen. Why do we have minks on the park? Other than eating fish, they are a threat to to us, because they can catch like I don't know how you call it in English or German, influenza. So a lot of pulmonary diseases can be transmitted through mink. They can transmit diseases to fish through the feces. So that's a mess. And they are not native to Portugal. So there's also that. Um, yeah, but I think if fishing is a red flag for dating, uh, that's not a woman for you. Like my wife, she finds fishing very, very boring, and I don't care, and she doesn't care. And there's some things that she does that I found very boring, and I think that's normal and healthy in any relations. Um your friends, I don't care if my friends think that fishing is boring, and I have the most random hobbies. So for you to understand, I have approach to life like Jesus. So I'm not Christian or anything like that. I was raised in a Christian country, but I don't believe in anything. But I believe that we should be good to one another and have the type of morality that it's 80% of the basis of Christianity. So accept everyone, don't be a douche, let everyone do whatever they want, that type of stuff. And I don't think you should judge anyone on their hobbies. I think it's not a natural thing on a relationships. Every relationship that I saw, and it's normal, people will have a long time where they can have their hobbies if they are not like, I don't know, spending all your money on OnlyFans, which is a creepy thing. Other than that, things that don't overlap, like with your relationship with your partner, I think they will not make you less attractive. It's just like uh, like a meme for me, the red flag thing. Like I don't care if like you collect Pokemon cards. I don't care if you, I don't know, play darts. I don't care if. And I really don't care. I think women don't care. I think women care more about your personality, or men. I don't judge. Um, they care more about the personality, how you perceive yourself, than what you do with your spare time. So, like what I was saying, I have the most random hobbies. Like I watch MMA. I play. Now I don't play anything because I don't really have the time. But I played a lot of Pokemon, GTA, Counter Strike, a bunch of sports. I fish. So none of them is. I think it was a red flag for my wife, and none of us really like violence. But I like to watch MMA, so that's very very weird. But it is what it is. So I don't think it's a red flag. And this one is related to fishing. I think I stretch this point too much. Have you tried to adapt finesse rigs like drop shot, Texas, Carolina, free or net, or super ultralight fishing? Do you think it will work? Do you think it has potential? So what I use, it's a version of a Texas rig with a shab and the EWG hook. Drop shot, it will work. People have been fishing like that for years in canals for perch on Northern Europe. Carolina, again, it can be the Carolina in Texas. For me, it's basically the same approach. The difference is usually the type of weight that you use, if it's fixed, not fixed, but it will work on the same way. Free rig, again, the free rig, it's actually a little bit harder to do on super ultralight because the minimum weight that you can get that will run, it's like 1.3 grams. So it's starting to come out from super ultralight to ultralight, and net rig, it's impossible to do on super ultralight. So if you're staying like that under 1.5 gram, 2 grams total weight, it's actually quite hard to find a net jig. and a plastic that will have enough buoyancy, being enough small and light to do the proper presentation, which actually, if I remember correctly, watching interviews with a OG Ned guy, Ned, I think it has some weird, not weird, sorry, I don't want to mention, but it has some northern, like, I will not say Scandinavian, but like Balkan name, like Lithuanian. It's not something, it's from the US, obviously, but I think it said it stuck on my hand that it's not like a bottom presentation, so it's more of a hopping before it gets on the bottom, just like slight twitching before it reaches the bottom. Yeah, but I think it's almost impossible to have an ad rig because of the things that you need to achieve on such a small weight and size. So another question from Alex. No, it's the same question. Okay, it's repeated. What are your goals for your channel? What are the next big steps? So I took some steps this month. I think I mentioned already that I got a drone. It's very, very hard to work with it on the winter. I probably use it more on the summer. I am also trying to use a little bit more a second camera. So I have a second camera. It's not that great. It's a SJ cam, so I had it. It was the first camera of the channel, but I will try to have some secondary shots, at least while I'm waiting on the summer. Because no one's there, I just can put my camera, I think, on a branch and just have some panning shots of me fishing. But I bought a webcam, so I have a dedicated webcam right now. That's why it's a little bit high. It's still mounted on the top of my main monitor on my desktop, so NVIDIA Broadcast doesn't like my smartphone as a webcam, and it's very, very hard. Actually, it's quite funny. It's very, very hard to mount my DJI Action camera on a nice place for me to shoot the sitting down videos. So I got a camera. It was not this price. It was a lot cheaper. And I think today it doesn't look any good because I had some problem with the lighting on my living room. I have too much of a strong light, as you can see in here. Actually, I will try to fix it right now. Still not that great, but a little bit better. So I got this camera, and I think it works quite nice. It's 4K capable. I also, because I was having problems with the audio on my mic, which is also from AliExpress, going through USB-C only. So I bought this audio interface from Bungie because I need a little bit more gain. So again, NVIDIA Broadcast can work its magic and take all the background noise. So sometimes I'm editing the videos with my kids screaming on the background, and I'm very thankful for the noise cancelling software. And I bought also this to get a little bit more gain, even though it didn't arrive yet. So this is an inline amp so the higher volume and clarity that you can put on the OG audio on the NVIDIA Broadcast app, usually the better it will come out. I was putting a lot of gain while I was taking the background noise, and that made some artifacts on my voice and some clarity of my voice, which is a bit annoying because I think my voice sounds better on the action cam and on my lapel mic directly connected to my phone than on this Fedus SL40 mic, which is actually quite weird. But either way, I'm trying to improve the sound of my dubbing and the quality of my camera on the sitting down videos, because I want to do a little bit more. Yeah, I have some things coming in, I will share. So this was it, basically. Yeah, I'm not rebranding for Ricardo Fashion Review because I'm always using the same shirts on the videos. I just came from work, so it's like 1 in the morning in Portugal, and I have the shirt that I had worn at work today, so I don't even care about fashion. So another question from Alex. If you're lost in the woods and you know there is a small stream and little lake, what your minimalistic alley fishing gear look like? So for lures and terminal tackle, I probably will take an assortment of what I just showed you on the beginning of the video, because it will work for most things. And after that, you can just use the smaller fish that you got as bait to get bigger fish. And I would probably go with a spinning rod with a spinning reel. Like if you want something smaller, the Mavlos Resolute combo, something like that. If I want to make it cheap, if I want to make it so no price, I would buy like the most reliable rod and reel that you can get if your food relies on it. Other than that, just stick with spinning, or probably I would say multi-part rods instead of telescopic, because they would be easier to fix on the run. And with spinning gear, that's the best thing that you can have. So I think that's it. If any alley seller, fishing product producer would ask you to suggest a product of your choice, what it would be? What do you think is missing on the fishing market, lure or rod and reel wise? So I talk a lot with sellers, with MeFine, at some extension with Mavlos. I give feedback to handing. With Pure Lure, I don't give a lot of feedback other than saying that the braid should be a little bit better, at least on Ultralight. I think with Kingdom I had some back and forths with them because one sub had a problem with the reel, with the Tagman. So they're actually quite pleasant to work with. I have no complaints with all the feedback that I provided. I'm always annoying MeFine to come out with a proper casting rod to get the outrange, to get like, I would not say the Pegasus, but like the versions that they have that will go to 5 grams. That type of stuff. Make it casting rods. I remember complaining to handing that there's not a lot of light and ultralight rods that are over 2 meters, and now they come out with a Pioneer Trout, which I've been changing my opinion. I've been fishing a lot with it. It's actually quite a nice rod. So what I think is missing, and I'm actually looking forward to the spring, it's the round reel that I have from Birkin. It should be on AliExpress. The Lizard Bulky Pro needs competition. The reel that I have, it's very, very, very small, and I think they can make it at around $100. I think I pay $120 for mine through Alibaba. I don't know how is the taxes thing and all the stuff to have the article on AliExpress, but I think the engraved version that I have would be around like 120, 130. The normal non-engraved version would be like 190 euros, and that really is solid. It's very solid. It's very small. AliExpress is full of phenomenal looking glass rods for streams and very small casting rods, and the reel just looks dope on the hand. So that's one thing that I think is missing. The other thing that is missing, it's I think right now it's only the Phantom, like very inexpensive 50 sized BFS reels. So you have a lot of like 100 sized clunky big bait casters that can do a little bit of BFS if you go like over 2.5 to 3 grams, but like the Phantom that can do 2 grams very well, can do a little bit under that, and it's compact. Everything now is over 40-45. Maybe you can get the iStar Aurora at that price with all the discounts, but that sweet time that we have in between March and May last year with those amazing prices, I've never seen them again. So there's some room there. There's a lot of room for big lightweight casting rods, like Zero, Health, to some extent the Obsession Phantom don't have a lot of competition on AliExpress. Large taper rods like the Plume, the Ultima, the Mavlo Suntai, I've been looking to a lot of them. I'm having a very hard time locating any rod that is over 2 meters, a large taper, and can cast from like 2 to 3 grams up until to 10 or 15 or 12 or whatever it is, with like under 1.3 or 1.4 millimeter solid tip. It's very hard to find. The spinning reels, I'm always complaining to brands that why the hell are they selling braid? They almost don't sell anything that is not to make leather. So they sell copolymer, they sell like leather monofilament, they sell fluorocarbon, and they sell braid, and then they sell spools that are deep AF on very small reels. That annoys me. And they make the reels very short, so they should be a little bit higher, and they should be a lot shallower. That's why I like I think the Zukibo Hodwang or something like that, or the Guang, because it was very shallow, and that's very cool. And also I think the Maz was Resolute, the 1500S, and that's the complaint that I had about the Handing M1, the 500 size. My complaint is that they sell a lot of braid, and then they sell us very deep spools now that the braid is so inexpensive in China. Yeah, that's what I think it's missing. Longer casting rods on lighter cast weights, a little bit longer, high tapered rods, smaller round reels, and more inexpensive 50 size bait casters. And spinning reels need to have shallower spools, because now everyone is using braid. I have wondered, is there only chub and sunfish on your usual stream, no perch? And even sunfish is going away, so now it's just chub and barbel. Maybe some sunfish on the summer, but we don't have perch. Even perch would get cooked in here. River gets too hot during the summer because they don't have enough water flow coming from the dams. And there's subsequence of questions, but basically it's a mess. They spend money netting perch, which will not solve the issue. They spend money naturalizing the reels, that will not solve the issue. The issue is the dams, and you either live with them or you are just throwing money away. So you either maintain an ecological flow of water, or you admit that you need the dams to produce electricity and just put fish in there that will be able to sustain on that type of ecosystem. And that's mostly exotics, because we don't have lakes in Portugal that I know of before dams. If they were very, very small. So since we don't have any natural lakes, most of our species need a lot of flow of water, and they need to go up the creeks and up the rivers, and they need very, very clear oxygenated water. And other than carp, you don't have a lot of stuff that can deal with all the damming, all the low flow during the summer that we are producing on our rivers. Exotic species just like that cherry on top that old farts like to use as an excuse to, but they also help to decimate the endemics, because they take everything home and then complain about the largemouth and pike and chander eating everything. Another question: what do you think about making your own Discord server or Facebook group for your community? It's not my community, it's your community, and we are not there yet. Again, I have 3K subs, but I think like people that subscribe because they like my videos are still under 2K. The rest came from when I did short funny videos with fishing fails and some captions, but it's still not there, and I don't want to start something that will be there in 2 or 3 months with no traction, as I said on the answer. I will be looking forward to it when we reach that stage. Another question: have you looked into Delco and Low Fishing and Fishing Fun Stellar rods? Yes, you sent me the link, I bought it, I already cast it, it works fine. So this one, it's not from Alex, it's from Yep Fishing. Yeah, I want you to do an ultralight spinning reel tier list. It's a good idea, I need time to do it. I probably this year on the September, end of September, will do separate videos for my prizes, and I'll probably do a tier list there before I announce what was my favorite reel. Up until that time, I have a bunch of spinning reels also to review. If you jump in a cold river, the bag to things ratio will improve. Yes, a bag of beans, a very, very small bag of beans. I rate the tariffs. Yeah, I don't care. It's a consequence of actions that people choose, and we have the same kind of deals in Europe. People need to understand that they should think a little bit more. I will not say karma, but they need to think when you vote, it's to make something good or something better, it's not to make something worse to another person. So I think it's just a consequence of the actions. So, question for your next time, mate. You mentioned in this video about the smells of new lures. Do you think it matters much? I got some off alley and they have a very artificial smell to them. Do you wash them at all or flavor them? No. So, I think I have some scented baits, but I don't see any difference from the ones that I usually use. The ones from Peak smell very artificial, like Z-Man, and fish don't care. I have some rage baits that have coffee scent, and I think at some point it can help you. I think it's proven that fish will hold them a little bit better, but again, I don't know how the studies are conducted. But in here, even conventional fishermen will not even, most of them will use like, how do you call it, powdered bait, like boilies and stuff. They will just use, if they are using float, they will just use maggots and throw maggots to make like a better fishing spot and attract fish. And the guys that use method feeder will just use a cage with maggots. So not a lot of scented working in here. Have I tried to scent it myself plastics? No, I don't really find any use of it. Most of the fish that I catch are predating based on sight or reaction to vibrations. Keep up the good work, mate. My wife also doesn't like to fish. With 2 little ones, I barely have time to fish. This is Bizovsky. Yeah, we all have little time to fish. Yeah, nice. You have a small ultralight league. Pure Lure Creek Dance, nice. Casking Kodiak, never heard of it. I stick to Shimano. I don't like Shimano lower end. I think it's too dated. Daiwa, it's, if you're going with a mainstream brand, Daiwa has renewed like 2 times the cheaper stuff, while Shimano has like barely made updates on their low end. So we still have the FX and the Sienna that we had for years now. But I'm addicted to buying lures from Ali. I have tons of crankbaits and soft plastics already. And it's from Croatia. So again, I think that's a thing that you can cut a lot. So I would say plastics, no, but crankbaits, I have a hard time using a lot of them. So, but it's my experience with it. Soft plastics, I've usually using the same, but I mix them a little bit. Again, from Alex, do you have problems to drive because of your ADHD? No, not really. And I have my deeper inner thoughts while I'm driving, which is very, very weird. I drive like on autopilot, never had an accident, never had a close call. For what I can say, I also have I had an advanced course on driving. I did some work with guys that work for Toyota and Lexus. So I because I worked late at night, I had a second job picking up cars and making like a how do you call it, a pre-survey. So I went and picked up the cars from rich people, so Lexus, that didn't want to bother to go to the shop with them, and I made like a pre-survey with the problems that the car might have. And I drive some cars on events with folks around. It's like second nature. I can really do other things inside of my head while I'm driving. So it's a kind of hyper focus, very, very. So I think we have two. We have one where you can do the things on autopilot, very, very conscious, and still have like a back burner inner thought going on. That's what happens to me while I'm driving. Another question: how does fishing work legally in Portugal? Badly, very, very badly. Do you need a license? Yes. Do you need to take a test to get the license? Unfortunately, no. Where can you fish? Everywhere except concessions, and you have like you can have a license for everywhere on the river systems in Portugal, or you can buy like specific for like 3 regions. So northern, center, and south. Then they are divided by main rivers. Do you need a specific permit to fish on a specific body of water? Yeah, that's concessions, not the whole body of water, but stretches, which is very annoying because sometimes you don't have drawings. It just says from the bridge of some stupid name until the kilometer something something of the national road, it's considered to this association, and usually the association doesn't have anything with fishing. They don't do jack shit to fishing. They don't clear the banks, they don't stock fish, they don't do absolutely nothing to fishing. They just collect the money, pay some. I think they increase now, and the number of concessions is decreasing. But basically, until now, they just collected money and made a big lunch 1 or twice per year with the money. We have a lot of like traditional dancing groups. Like you see the people with weird vests. They may have concessions, hunting groups, and not a lot of fishing groups have concessions. I went 1 or 2 that were nice. The other ones I just see the boards and I just go away because I know fishing there sucks. Yeah, but basically it's a daily permit if you land on any of that bodies of water. Sometimes you get it for free if you live there. Yeah, but fishing clubs, so yeah, you have fishing clubs in there. I bet it sucks. But if it's fishing clubs, they may do something about fishing conditions at least, or stockfish. I know that they do it a lot in Spain and France with carp. So that's it. Yeah, I think I'm going on 1 of April to a place that they will stock trout. Other than stocking trout, we don't stock anything else other than like some conservation issue with some silverfish. Another question from Alex. You have said you don't go for your PB, you want to catch many fish. Is your philosophy connected to your ADHD? Maybe because you need a frequency not to get bored in the long run. I think that doesn't have to do with ADHD. It's like my approach to life. For me, success doesn't come through ambition or desire. It comes from consistency and enjoying what you're doing. So I played a lot of sports, and all the successes that I had through sport, it was not because I was highly competitive or because I was like very focused. So I played like indoor football, so 5 against 5, and I played also 11 and 7 while I was younger. I was not the guy that would like run like a maniac. I was not the guy that was too lazy. I was the guy that would play from morning until dawn because I love it. At some point in my I ended up as a goalkeeper on 5-5 because I didn't have the acceleration, and I was very good playing from back to front, and I have good reflexes. So I ended up playing as a goalkeeper. I went like, I don't know, playing the whole season, and I went with like 18 conceded goals, something like that, on I would say 30 something games. So, and I had like, we have a very strong team on our division, and more than half the goals were on 2 games. Because was 17 and there was guys playing against us, so still under the age bracket, and they had like 2 or 3 kids already and a full set of beards. So very sketchy stuff that happened while I was growing up. But other than that, yeah. And I said I don't go. I think when you have a lot of ambition, you want to go somewhere, but you don't have the talent. That's my mentality. Or you don't have the passion. You just want to be somewhere. You don't want to. I think life is that this shit is getting too philosophical, but I think the life is about the journey. It's not about the destination. A lot of people have said that, but I really believe it. So you need to enjoy what you're doing. So me, it's not that I don't want to catch my PV. I just want to have fun while I'm fishing, and I want to be fishing. Having my PVs will be a consequence, and I know that I've got last year a largemouth that is 44 centimeters, and I know that there are people that are actually targeting largemouth and where I live and don't catch that size of fish, which doesn't sound very impressive, but in here it's. And remember, I'm fishing a river. I'm not fishing like. It's an undisclosed location but Alex, you can see the whole video because you're a member and it's uncropped. It's, you know what it is. You don't know what it is, but you can see what it is. So it's not an easy fit, but it came as a consequence of me just enjoying fishing. So I think that's that. I don't think it's related to ADHD, it's related to personality. I don't need to be catching a lot of fish to have fun. I went 2 trips trout fishing. I think I made like 24 kilometers by foot between the 2 of them. I didn't catch anything. I still have had fun. Does your wife fish? Any chance you can make a video with your wife? Maybe a video about how you introduce it to fish. So that's like 3 no's. No, and no. So she doesn't fish. She doesn't like fishing. She finds it boring, and she doesn't want to be on camera. So that's 3 no's, and I don't think that's a problem. And there's a lot of interactions under this one because all of us will have the same problem. My wife calls fishing my mistress because it takes me away from her and spends my money. Yeah, mistress can be cheaper. And I think in here somewhere it's a question. What bait casting setup would you use for saltwater? So I have a setup that I'm eager to use when weather gets better. It's the Pure Lure Zero with the Pure Lure Silver Feather Elite. So that's it. That's the combo that I'll be using on saltwater. And I think somewhere in here there's a story. Some guy, his son passed some rods to my father, and he said, "Oh, my father was a fisherman." And what he was actually doing, because the rods and the reels were brand new, and they didn't even match properly, the guy was hooking up with someone while the wife thought he was fishing. So that's the mistress and fishing story. He spent money on fishing and still got a mistress. Any tips how to get away with buying regularly on AliExpress and keep your wife, girlfriend happy? No, but you can make a YouTube channel and try to make at least enough money to cover the expenses, which I don't make. Shh, don't tell her. She doesn't watch the video, so she will never know. I should have changed my YouTube. Thanks for the answer. So, this crap is more than 1 hour long. So, funny thing, I made this video 3 times. First time I had an audio problem, so it was actually the audio from my camera. I changed the settings, and you know how you have ADHD, you get carried away. I recorded again, so first time it was like 52 minutes, just the Q&A. So it was 1 hour and something after I put the unboxing of the of my fanny pack. The second time it was like crystal perfect, 37 minutes, very very quick answers, getting straight to the point. And that was like 30 something minutes, which should keep the video under 1 hour. And now I do it for a third time. Hopefully the audio will be okay this time. And I'm running 1 hour and 5 minutes just on the Q&A. And I think the rest of the video is like 15 minutes, so it's very very long. But the ones that are watching are the ones that made the questions, and I think they will find interesting the answers. And if you have more questions that you want to be answered, just leave them down below. I will go through all of them. Yeah, take advantage while you can. When I have reached like 1 million subscribers, I will not be able to answer all your questions in detail like I'm doing right now. But please feel free to leave the question below. Or if you have any suggestions for videos, I can debate that on my next Q&A. And remember to leave a like, subscribe. And if you have weird friends that like fishing and have a weird sense of humor, just send me a video of mine. Probably I get another sub. So until my next video, which should be like in 2 or 3 days, I think it's the let me see what is my next video. It's the hand house pour list, the unboxing and fishing with it. So hopefully you will like this one. It's a very noodly rod, so if you're American you will not like it. And until then, I will see you guys next time. Bye.